Welcome to the David and Hillary Show, episode 51, where
Nice.
we're gonna talk about AI, right?
Yeah, artichoke ice cream.
Ooh,
I mean, I wasn't sure exactly what you meant by AI, so I was just trying to guess.
I do not want to talk about artichokes.
Or ice cream.
Well, I like ice cream, but no, not with artichokes.
All right, well, what are
That's
we
a
going to
bad
talk
idea.
about?
Well, I think it stands for artificial intelligence,
That does make more sense.
right? I think that's what you were using when you tried to decide what AI stood for.
No, if I'd used artificial intelligence, I would have probably got it right.
Well,
But it would have been less creative.
that's probably true.
Yeah.
I would like to clarify that all of the intelligence I will be using on this episode is my own intelligence, which is real.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I will be doing the same.
Okay. Well, whatever we're gonna do, we should probably go ahead and start it.
All right, let's do this.
All right. Well, I was trying to think of some more dumb things to say that started with A and I, but I think probably just admit that we're going to talk about artificial intelligence and dive into it. I think there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know what was so difficult about that. I really had a hard time coming up with something.
No, you came up with artichoke ice cream pretty quick.
Well, okay. But that's all I've got. I've got one
Yeah.
good thing. That's it. That's the end
Aardvark
of my
intestines.
ugh.
Well, you mean you started out gross with artichokes?
I mean, I think intestines are way grosser than ice cream. Hello.
I mean, have you had artichokes?
Have you had intestines? Gross.
Well,
Yeah, let's
we-
not talk about
we,
it.
we don't want to know how the sausage is made. We should just move on. Well, what are we going to talk about AI? I think there's a lot. How do you want to start it?
Well, I think I want to start by just saying that I thought it would be super fitting to go to AI to talk about this topic.
How
And-
very meta of you.
I know. So, honestly, if you would have asked me a few months ago, hey, what's AI? I couldn't have told you. I think I would have just given you some weird random, like, it's when a computer tells you something. But one of our kids would always be telling us things they looked up on Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And so much so that it's actually hard to say that Chat GPT, which is a form of artificial intelligence that you can just go to on Google. It's
Right.
super easy to just,
What does GPT stand for?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you looked that up.
I don't think I did.
Okay.
Did I?
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot in a
No.
bad way.
I mean, if you want to talk for a minute, I'll look it up. I will ask Chad, that's the nickname that our child has given to Chat GPT, because honestly, it's hard to say. And Chad is so easy to say. So,
Everything needs a nickname.
yeah. So we call him Chad.
Well, while you look for that, I will talk about how I usually don't have a problem remembering what AI stands for, because I saw a movie in 2001 called AI, which stood for artificial intelligence. And that was kind of the first time that I had been exposed to the idea. I've had a negative feeling about AI ever since, mostly because I just thought it was a terrible movie.
Which movie was this? I was so busy looking at this up.
The movie AI
Oh,
with Haley Joel Osment.
okay.
And he was 11 at the time, so I'm not really throwing shade at him. I think he was pretty good in it, as I remember. It was actually, Steven Spielberg
Okay.
directed it. And I'm not one of those that thinks everything Steven Spielberg has ever touched was, made of gold. He's done some great things. He's really good. All his movies are better than any of my movies because I haven't made any. But I just wasn't a fan. Now a lot of movies are longer now.
Right.
We have a lot. It's more common to have a long movie now, but back then most movies were about an hour and a half. This movie was not only long, and I looked it up, it was like 2 hours and 26 minutes, but
Wow.
it felt like 3 hours and 26 minutes because it moved so slow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it
Okay.
at all. And so my impression of artificial intelligence was not that that's ever going to exist in our lifetime and we'll have to deal with it.
But that it was going to bore you to death.
I mean, that movie was. I haven't seen it since it came out, so maybe I should watch it again before I just, you know, rail on it and tell everyone it's a terrible movie because we love movies.
We do.
But that was 25 years ago, but that's what I remember about it. So, what did you find out about
Okay.
Chat GPT?
Yeah, you are going to love this.
I'm ready.
I'm going to be glad we just call him Chad. Chat GPT stands for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer.
What? He's a transformer?
I hope he's the one like that does the music on the radio and only can talk through songs. That's Bumblebee.
Not only that, but when you're not looking stuff up, you can ride around in him. He's a car.
Yeah, this is cooler than we thought.
We need to get one of those.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's just call him Chad, and
Okay.
I think that's easier. Generative Pre-trained Transformer.
Wow.
It is an AI system that chats and uses a model that can generate human-like text from vast pre-trained data, but on the transformer architecture. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I really want to make a transformer joke right now, but I'm drawing a blank.
It's a specific type of powerful neural network architecture
Does he help you fight the Decepticons?
that uses to process and generate language effectively.
Okay.
So that's what it means.
Okay. So Chad. Yeah.
So I went to Chad, and I said, I want to know about the origins of AI. That's all I said.
Okay.
And very, very quickly popped out my answer, and it was really quite thorough. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is basically the origins of AI in general.
Okay. So Chad did his homework pretty fast, huh?
Chad did his homework so fast.
He was pre-trained, so
and he's
I
a
guess
transformer.
that's why he had it ready.
Yeah. He's from another planet,
Mm.
and he's super smart.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's dive into it. So, the early roots of AI.
Okay. Yeah, it says that artificial intelligence didn't appear all at once. It developed gradually from ideas in philosophy, mathematics, and early computer science. And so they started even back from the ancient times all the way up to the 1800s.
Okay, so to be clear, we're way before early computer science.
Way before.
They're doing like the roots of the roots of the roots.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Pre-root.
So, where are we starting in like ancient Greece or something?
Yeah, it said philosophers like Aristotle formalized logic and
Okay.
rules of reasoning, and that those were ideas that later became foundational for AI. So I think I could
Okay.
go for that.
All right. Let's see. Well, you've got it up here on the screen. So, from the Middle Ages to the 1700s, thinkers imagined mechanical beings, automata, I guess, is that what they called them? And they explored whether reasoning followed strict rules. So, okay.
It
I
makes
feel like
sense
I'm
to
reading
me.
the dictionary or the encyclopedia.
Yeah. Well, that's what history is a lot. But it makes sense to me that even before people had the ability to create these things, they were probably imagining them.
Yeah.
I think people have always dreamed about things beyond what they could actually
If
do.
you can dream it, you can become it. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
Well, that's what the people who created AI did, I guess.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in the 1800s, mathematicians like George Boole created symbolic logic, showing that logical reasoning could be expressed mathematically. So
Well, that kind of makes sense.
yeah.
So
So
you could predict outcomes, and you could predict like 70% of the people are going to react this way or whatever. To use logic
Yeah.
logic and math to have it. Yeah.
So they're just saying that these ideas were the ones that planted the seed.
Yeah.
That thinking
Thank you.
could be mechanized, could be put into some kind of machine.
Right.
So I mean, I think I could go for that. One of the things that we were talking about is that so they're saying that went all the way up to the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
As I've been like looking through, like even I was looking through one of my archaeology books, and they were showing a picture of this site, and it was in the Middle East, and the person on the road was like, "This is the road to such and such a place back in the like 1830," and I'm thinking, that's not that long ago. Like in light of all of history, right?
Okay. Yep. Yep.
And they were on a horse. They were, or it was probably a donkey. They're just riding a donkey up this dusty road. And I was thinking, like, when in the world did we get the cars? Like, I wouldn't have been able to tell you all the years for everything. But the automobile wasn't even invented until 1885.
Yeah. I knew it was the late 1800s.
And you just think that just changed so much about
Yeah.
the world. But if you think about recorded human history, let's just say there's about 6,000 years of recorded history. Then for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, there was no automobile.
Right.
But now, for just the last how many years? You're great at math.
Well, from 1885,
Until now.
that's 140 years.
Yeah. So tiny is in comparison to all of
Right.
history.
Well, and it took quite a while. It was probably the 1920s or 30s before the average American family that was at least doing decently well
Yeah.
could afford a car. So they existed a long time before everybody had one.
So really for only about the last 100 years,
Yeah.
that technology has been a part of our everyday life that we totally take for granted.
Yeah.
If you took away everybody's vehicle tomorrow, like as a society, we can't even function.
Well, no.
Not well.
Well, we know someone who would like for that to happen. They are all about walkable cities
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Walk to the grocery store, walk to the park for exercise, work from home, and they're not real big on cars. But most people need a car to get to work. Most people need a car to get food. They want to be able to visit friends and family, and yes, for that to go away would be a huge, huge change for
Yeah.
the average person.
Well, and I guess my point is that that's a huge influential technology that's really only been along for a very tiny, short amount of time.
Right.
But now the world depends on it.
Yeah, and that technology has changed a lot too. In the beginning, cars didn't go that fast.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the story, but they didn't want them to go that fast because they were afraid after a certain point, the human body wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Like even if you have a windshield and you have the windows up and stuff, if you go past a certain speed, you might just start coming apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the first one to test it, right? Like,
Because nobody'd ever gone that fast. Like how
Yeah.
fast can a horse gallop? That's it. That's as fast as anyone had ever gone.
isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now,
Do you think that guy was really scared? They're like, "Go ahead. We're going to go really fast."
the reason cool inventions get made and technology changes is there's always that guy who's like, give me a helmet and put me in that bleepity bleep car. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll prove that we can do it.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, oh, Johnny did it.
Yeah.
So I guess we could all do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, so, all right. And then in this middle area here, we also have the airplane being invented. So 1903, we've got the airplane. Now you're going really fast.
Well, the first planes didn't go that fast, but they went fast enough to get up off the ground.
Well, were they going faster than a car?
I don't know. Have you seen the footage of the Wright brothers when they first did that? It's not. It's. I mean, it's.
They're just
Looks
gliding.
like a paper airplane. It looks like a giant paper airplane.
Okay.
I mean, it only went. It only went a few feet. I think it might have gone 100 yards or something in that first flight.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of things. You find a way to do something at a basic level, and then you figure out how to do it a little better and a little better and a little better. You talk about cars and even just the speed, but also the comfort and the safety. When we were kids, there were a lot of cars on the road that didn't even have seatbelts.
Oh, yeah.
And even the ones that did, it wasn't a law.
I mean, you had mom's arm. That was just like,
That's right. Where'd you get that bruise across your belt? Oh, that was my seatbelt.
that's my seatbelt.
Yeah, a deer ran out in front of my mom, and she karate chopped my chest so I wouldn't go through the windshield.
Safety first.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
All right. Well, so picking back up onto our AI timeline, because
Oh, yeah.
what I wanted to do was just kind of throw in there that before it actually was becoming like concrete, people were imagining it, just like they were imagining the vehicle, imagining the airplane, imagining what can we do. So in the 1930s and the 1940s, that's when the foundations in mathematics and computing started to really take shape.
Okay.
And a lot of people have heard of Alan Turing. I've heard that name.
Yeah.
I couldn't have told you on Jeopardy what he did, but I would have recognized the name.
Right.
But he proposed the theoretical Turing machine, showing that a machine could perform any logical computation.
Okay.
And then we watched a movie about that. I didn't realize that the movie was based on him.
Okay. Right.
You remember that one?
Well, was that the Imitation Game?
Yeah.
Where they were trying to break codes in World War II?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really liked that movie. I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah.
And I did not realize that they were testing those theories out that long ago.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
We didn't know. We didn't need to know.
We didn't need to know. I wasn't alive. But I don't remember learning that anywhere in school. So,
Well, but when we were in school, especially you in high school, I mean, computers, it was just beginning to get on the radar, like, hey, you might want to learn something about computers. These
Right.
might be a big thing coming up.
well,
I graduated high school in 1983 and nobody was talking about computers.
that's what I was going to say. At any point during your like K through 12, were computers at all a part of that?
No, I feel like I shared this before in another episode, but I had one I went to 4 years of college and I had one assignment in college that the one English professor demanded that we do a paper on a computer and turn it in. And by that, all I mean is it was basically a word processor. Like I didn't know how to type, so this was really irritating to me. But I had to go. We had to get like. There was some kind of lab where there was a computer. We had to get a floppy disk. I'm not lying. It was this big and it barely had room for one paper. No, it had a little more room than that. But I had to do some kind of paper, and then I had to take my handwritten notes that I would normally turn in or pay someone to type for me. And I had to type them. I had to do it, whether I knew how to
that was
type
part
or
of
not.
the assignment. Like
you
you had
to use a computer.
Okay.
Because this professor was saying, like, everybody's going to need computers, and you have to do it. And I was so irritated. I was like, first of all, you're an idiot. That's not going to be a thing.
It's not a thing.
And secondly, I'm going to be an artist. I'm never going to need a computer for anything, and I'm probably never going to own one, like the one we're recording this podcast on. And but I had to buy a floppy disk, and I had to go and learn how to. I didn't really learn how to type. I hunt and pecked for the 2-page paper or whatever it was, and
Painful.
printed it out. And I did like that you could make as many mistakes and then fix them without having to, go back and figure out how to make it look right on a typewriter.
Yeah.
But that was it. That was the only good thing about it. And so anyway, that was too long of an answer. But I mean, I'm alive, and for the first 25 years of my life, people weren't talking about computers that much.
Right.
And then when they did start really talking about computers, I ended up doing a lot of jobs. Some of them were artistic, some of them were not. But when we were a youth pastor, we had a kid in our youth group that I went over to his house and we were hanging out. And he was telling me the same thing that my English professor told me, but more about how computers were going to take over the world, and this thing called the internet, which he could not describe in a way that I understood what he was talking about. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know where you came up with this crazy idea. And people are no longer going to buy encyclopedias. They're just going to look up stuff up on the internet. I was like, you're crazy. I'll be praying for you. I'm kind of worried. Should I talk to your mom before I leave? Every household's going to have at least one computer. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And
What do I know?
well,
But, when you have no foundation for that or no frame of reference for it, and no one really, I mean, this was the first person in my life that had ever said that much to me about computers. And
Right.
he was like 16.
yeah. And it sounded crazy.
Yeah.
And I think even the idea of someone saying, oh, every house is going to have a computer. I kept thinking, what would you use it for? What would you do with it? I'm not going to, I also had to go to the same computer lab and write papers.
Yeah.
But I was young enough that I had a computer in my school, and we would take tests on it. The teacher would have it in the back of the classroom. You'd have to take turns because there was only one, but
Yeah.
they would send you to the back of the room to take your test on a computer. And I think I took 2 computer science classes in high school because everybody kept saying, oh, you have to know this, you have to know this, you have to know this. And I thought, well, okay, I guess if I have to know this.
And just for those in the class who don't know, you graduated high school 6 years after me.
Right. So in that
So,
short of a time,
yeah.
they were really pushing it.
From 83 to 89. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, back to our notes. By the time 1956 rolls around, AI is officially, the term is officially coined, artificial intelligence,
Okay.
at the Dartmouth Conference in 1956 by John McCarthy. So at this point, researchers, they started to think that, within a few decades, we are going to have human level intelligence. They were very optimistic. And the early programs could solve math problems, they could play chess, they could prove logical theorems. So it started becoming an official discipline. But then
It was almost more of a, I don't know. I didn't know I was going to say this, but now I'm searching for the right words, but almost like a freak show kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, come see what this crazy computer can do. And it wasn't beating anyone at chess, but it could play chess.
Right.
A computer knows what the pieces are and how they can and can't move. And it could actually play you in a game of chess.
Yeah.
So oh, wow, that's cool. That's a fun party trick. So what are we doing later? That's about as far as you're going to talk about that because you don't think it's going anywhere.
Well, and then in the 70s and the 80s, they had what they called the AI winter, when really the enthusiasm kind of dropped off. The funding dropped off. They weren't really, they just really weren't getting the results that they wanted.
Yeah.
And so and that's really probably where we came into it. It was starting to pick back up by the late 80s, and everybody was getting more enthusiastic about it. But for a while there, they were struggling with, how does this really fit into the real world?
They were thinking maybe they were just going to give up on it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, look where we are today. In 1997,
Somebody decided not to give up.
the IBM's Deep Blue, I guess that was their artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
defeated the chess champion at that time.
Yeah, Gary Kasparov.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it. I've never been into chess really, so I couldn't beat anybody at chess, but I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
and just like, oh, they made a computer that's beating a chess champion, and I was like, what? Are you sure?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound possible.
Is that what was it that they challenged the horses to? Remember they was it an automobile or was it a train? When they said this has more horsepower than it must have been a car. Like when they I think it was the early automobile. You talk, I'll look it up real quick. But they were kind of like can this artificial intelligence really beat a human brain for chess? Like you are matching AI's intelligence, artificial intelligence, against human, the best chess player in the world at that point.
Okay.
And it reminds me that I think they did this with the automobile because people were saying, "You'll never beat my horses. My horses are going to outwork and outpace your car." So,
Well,
let me check.
the early ones barely worked, like a lot of things. Well, there's a lot of technology that's been like that. When I was a kid, we had like a 13-inch black and white television, and I remember watching that, and we didn't even have cable, so the TV station is sending a signal out through the airwaves, and my TV is picking it up. I have no idea how that works, and turning it into images with recognizable face. Like there's James Garner playing Jim Rockford on the Rockford Files, and there's his dad, Rocky, and there he is driving around in his Firebird. And I can see what all those things are with what feels like to me in the 1970s pretty clear images. Now it's black and white. I wished it was in color, but later we got a color TV, and the quality of the picture wasn't necessarily better, but everything's in color. So that's cool. That's awesome. And I remember as a teenager just kind of looking at that TV thinking, wow, look at all those generations of people that never had this. It's so cool that we have this. But now we have it, and we have telephones and we have cars. And I'm thinking about some of the things that we're sitting here talking about tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel bad for the people coming after us that they're not going to have any new things, because I feel like everything's pretty much been invented that could be invented. And I heard years later, there was another famous person that famously kind of said that at one point. I don't remember when in history or who it was, but like, I mean, everything's pretty much been invented that could be invented. And when you see who that was and all the things that came after it, you're like, well, that's crazy. And now I think in the, we're in 2026 now. I think people know, like, there's just always going to be more and more crazy stuff. And the technology, we're in an age where technology changes so fast. And probably 25 years ago, I walked into a Best Buy, and it was always fun to just walk around and see and dream about, oh, I wish I could upgrade my car stereo, and maybe you buy an album or a movie or whatever. But it's just fun to see what they have and what's new. And I went back in the TV area, and there was this TV on a display. It was only like this big. I've been trying to recreate. I think it was probably 18 or 20 inches diagonal. TVs used to be square.
Yep.
This one was rectangular.
Mm-hmm.
TVs used to be this big in the back, like from the screen to the back, and this one was this big,
Very thin.
and it was the first flat screen HD TV, high definition TV. But at that small size, it was $10,999.
That almost seems like impossible.
It
How could
blew
that,
my
How
mind.
could that
I
be?
will never forget it because, number one, I'd never seen a rectangular TV that thin, and the picture was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was so clear.
Was it made of gold?
There was a basketball game playing. It was probably recorded, and they were just playing it back
Yeah.
through there. But I'm watching this going, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. And I remember over the following months, they got bigger and bigger ones. And you would just stand there, and there'd be like a helicopter shot kind of going through the city, and you're like going around this building at night and just looking down in a big city, looking down the corridors, the streets, of all these buildings and the lights and the detail. I remember thinking, if I were in that helicopter, I wouldn't be able to see it with my eyes with this much
Right.
detail.
Right.
You're showing it to me at a definition that is artificially better than reality.
Right.
It's crazy.
How much would that TV cost today?
Well, let me just put it in. So let's just say it was a 20-inch flat screen for $11,000. We just walked into Costco the other day, and
Not a sponsor.
no, and we said, we're thinking about redoing our living room. I couldn't have told you. I've since measured it, how big our TV was, but we've noticed that whenever they're showing in a show, like, oh, somebody got a text message, they show you the phone. And I was like, nobody can read that. What are you doing? Why are you that? And then at one point it dawned on us.
Yeah.
We have an HD TV, but it's not 4K, which of course is the standard now, and it's not that big. Well, I measured it; it's 43 inches.
It's so cute.
So we're like, well, maybe we need to get an up-to-date, bigger, better
Yeah.
resolution television. The TV in Costco was 75 inches for $550. And I mean, I just, compare that $11,000 flat screen, the first one I'd ever seen, to the 550 75-inch
Yeah.
and 4K. I mean,
That's crazy.
we came home and measured the wall, and we're like, oh, okay, 75 inches is almost
Might
vulgar.
be a little obnoxious.
I'm not sure I can do that. But the 65 inch is only 450. But the technology, I mean, it just, it's mind blowing. And the other thing that's kind of sad too is that nobody works on TVs anymore.
Right. Right.
So you pay whatever you pay for whatever size TV you get, and in 5 years, if it's not doing what you want it to do, you just figure out where you can throw it away and you buy another one.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is necessarily great. But
Yeah.
But the advancement of technology is mind blowing. So I don't even remember what you were going to look up now.
Yeah. I thought I remembered that when the automobile was first invented, people were bragging like, my horse can outrun your car.
Right.
And that's true. In the very beginning, early cars were slow, unreliable, and struggled on poor roads, often being outrun by horses for short distances, with some early cars barely exceeding a horse's trot. And I feel like that's kind of like AI. Like when it started, it was a little clunky, and people were like, "Oh, great, it can play chess, but it can't beat me,"
Right.
But then, I mean, look at a car now. Like cars can
I'm just
definitely
thinking of the current truck commercials where they're going on these terrible roads up a hill, pulling a trailer, and you got
probably
four-wheel
a trailer of
drive.
horses.
Probably. The horses are like, whew, I needed a break. I've been racing cars all day. Yeah. But it's just crazy how fast it changes.
Yeah. Well, it really is.
So how do we get to artificial intelligence? I mean, we've been talking about the history of it.
Yeah.
And I think you said in 1997, there was a computer that beat a chess champion.
Yep. So in the 2000s, there was just an explosion of digital data and faster computers. And so I feel like in the last 26 years, we have very quickly been moving towards this place.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna go faster.
Yeah.
And so, so I feel like it's here to stay for sure, right? Just like the internet,
Right.
The internet that we never thought we would be using
And cars.
every day, and cars, yeah,
And high def TVs,
Yeah.
4K. I guess 8K is coming next. They're saying.
So yeah, I just feel like it's one of those things where it's going to be a part of our life to some degree,
Right.
and I think it's good to know what it is, what it isn't, and right now, most of the applications it said include like voice assistants or like in the medical imaging field or like large language models like ChatGPT. So
Telemarketing calls.
yeah, yeah. Or my favorite,
There's always some bad to come along with the good.
the JetBot.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the JetBot.
Yeah. If you call Jet's Pizza to place an order.
Yeah. The first time I called and this happened, I was a little offended. I'm like, where is the person that
Right.
I want to talk to order my pizza from Jet's Pizza? Not a sponsor. So I called up the number for Jets, and this really, really enthusiastic computer. I mean, you should call him just to see if you have the same
Yeah.
JetBot.
It's something like, "Hi, I'm the JetBot. Would you like to place your order with me and receive 15% off every item on that you order?"
He's very happy.
He's
And I always say, yes, I would. Thank you.
he's way too happy.
Yeah. So my order's pretty simple, but I'm going to tell you what. He gets it right every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
You do have to speak really clearly.
You do, but he nails it. And I feel bad because I'm thinking of all the times a human has taken my order and I have to repeat it and then double check it and then ask them again because they've messed it up so many times.
Right.
You want to know how many times my JetBot has ever messed up my pizza order? 0. Except for the one time when he didn't know my name.
That's right. Yeah.
And they must have
What did he think your name was?
well, it must be like they have a code in the program because
Yeah.
he said, "Is your name temporary?" And I said, "Yes, it is." Because I thought if you're not smart enough to ask me my name and yet
Oh
to
my
not
gosh.
know that was a placeholder, and so I was like, "Yes, it is." So when I think you had to go in and pick up the pizza,
Yeah. I have a pizza for temporary. I think I just told him what the order was. And then she's like, "Oh, what? I don't think we have a name." Yeah, they
didn't know the
They
name.
didn't get the name, but
You must have given it to him because then next time they knew my name. I was like,
Yeah.
well, there goes that fun. No more fun with the JetBot.
well, the other thing is it used to be well, it's still this way. On my cell phone, if I get a new customer or a new friend or whatever, let's trade numbers, and then I have to punch in the name
Yeah.
that go with the number. And then when they call me, their name pops up.
Yes.
If I don't have their connection, it says, well, unknown caller or potential spam or whatever it says. I think a lot of these businesses now have bought phone lists from especially local. I don't know how they do all that. But I think it's gotten
Chad
to the
does.
point where if you call and try to set up an appointment to go see someone to talk about this or that or whatever, and they're like, "Okay, well, is this David?" Well, I never gave you my name, but they're looking at my phone number because the number came up, and they have a
Right.
database that tells them the names that go with the numbers, and so I don't know. Some people are really freaked out by that. I just figure it's going to happen, but
Yeah. Well, and Chad did say something a little suspicious to me when I was reading.
Uh-oh.
He said at the very end, he said, importantly,
oh,
modern AI does not think or understand like humans. It identifies patterns and predicts outcomes based on data. And I have seen iRobot. And
Yeah,
so
that's
I
right.
know that probably Chad is just trying to throw me off the scent and make me think that he is not thinking.
well, probably what really is happening is some really smart people, a lot of really smart people, are programming layers and layers and layers of things to get the computer to replicate. The computer doesn't even know that it's trying to replicate. It just knows what it's programmed. It's, data in, data out. But they're trying to teach it how to, in this situation, process these things and come up with these types of results and whatever. I'm not going to pretend like I know more than I know, but I do think it's a little creepy when it tries to convince you that it's not sentient.
Yeah.
I don't think it is, but some human programmed it to be like, oh, they might get nervous right here, so we'll tell them that the robot computer transformer, whatever, is not going to come to their house. And what was that in iRobot? They send a computer to destroy the house where the protagonist is trying to go in and get clues.
Yep.
Yeah, if you haven't seen iRobot, or if you haven't seen it in a while, you should look it up and watch it.
Yeah. Maybe we should watch it.
We should.
Yeah. Well, what are we going to talk about next time? Because we're going to continue to talk about AI.
Well, we hinted around a little bit that AI can do some crazy things in the progression of the technology, and it's impressive and it can be really helpful. But maybe not every single thing is positive. So I think we're going to dig more into that and talk about, generally speaking, is AI good or bad, and what are some examples of that?
Yep. That sounds like a good idea.
That's going to be good.
Let's watch iRobot.
We should.
Yeah, just to freak ourselves out again.
Maybe we'll do a movie review on iRobot as part of our next episode.
But let's turn off all the computers before we do.
Yeah, we don't want them getting any ideas.
That's right.
We don't want them talking to each other. All right. Well, this has been a fun episode, and we look forward to digging into AI even more, about how is it good or is it bad, or what's really going on with AI. We'll do that next time. Thank you for joining us this time. We do appreciate you. Please like and subscribe. We really appreciate how that helps the algorithm. So please help us with that. Get the computer to give us some favor.
That's right.
So yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
All right. See ya.